WFYI Podcasts, brought to you by Bloomington, home to the Indiana Hoosiers and over 200,000 acres of fall foliage in the Hoosier National Forest. Indulge in seasonal flavors at the Elm, experience breathtaking views atop 4 fire towers, or catch a Big Ten football game at Memorial Stadium. More, including how to plan your fall getaway, at visitbloomington.com.
WFYI Podcast brought to you by IU Auditorium, presenting Les Miserables for a limited engagement, September 24th through the 29th. Les Miserables, the timeless musical about love, courage, and hope as it relates to the survival of the human spirit. Tickets at iuauditorium.com.
This is Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis, your host tonight, along with co-host Adam Cross. We have the last song in our series from indie-based folk duo Sommers, and a story behind the track from the band. And we'll listen to this month's local frequency tracks. Stay tuned for songs from Airport People, Christopher Pitts, and Wampus Milk Daddies. That's an hour of new music from Indiana-based artists here on Small Studio Signal Boost. Adam, you have our first song tonight. What is it?
Yeah, I have one from Indianapolis group Littrell. This is from their new album Public Love. It's Littrell with Shark Week.
I got it just once or twice and he leaves. Save us from ourselves. Yeah, really
That was Littrell with Shark Week. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Adam Gross here with co-host Melissa Davis. Coming up, we'll listen to this month's local frequency tracks, but first I have some more new music. Indianapolis musician Caleb McCoach has a new album out called All Roads Lead to Home. Here's one from that. It's Caleb McCoach with Burn Your Candle at Both Ends.
Burn your candle at both ends. When you die, you won't be back again. I once made up with a friend that
You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost, and we're listening to music from Indiana artists. Indie-based Kiana Flowers has released 5 singles so far this year. Here's one of those. It's Kiana Flowers with Love Drug.
You got me high off your love. I think I'm coming down. Cloud 9, how high you be lifting me, and when I leave with drugs, be fatally. And miss some nice back. Come lay with me, the body hard as a rock, and I need a piece. Every time I try to quit, I can't leave you be. Mind so cold, need a moment of peace, and I can't eat, I can't sleep. I'm sweating, it's shaking, fiending for your sweet love. My crispy cream can't get enough with the push.
Indie's Dana Powell is a singer-songwriter and pianist, originally from Canada, where she studied classical piano through high school and college. The song Your Love Is Enough is the title track from Dana's first full-length country pop album. Let's hear Your Love Is Enough from Dana Powell on Small Studio Signal Boost.
Like I've always been with you, like I've always been with you. This might sound crazy, but I want nothing more than us. Your love is enough. You're there to answer.
You were tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost. You can check out the music featured tonight on our Spotify playlist by searching WFYI Music. And Adam, you have a new batch of local frequency tracks this month.
Yeah, so every month I pick 3 songs from Indiana artists and package them into 30 and 60-second spots to play in the natural program breaks on WFYI and WBAA. Up first, I've got a track from the new Airport People album titled Midwest Dispossessed. According to their bio, Midwest Dispossessed is a collaborative work by photographer Michael Ginda and composer Leon Todd Johnson, Airport People himself. This unique 4-part blend of visual and auditory art explores the current state of rural communities in and around the Wabash Valley through Ginda's poignant imagery and Johnson's moving orchestral score. Our colleague at WFYI, Kyle Long, has a great interview with Leon, which you can find on the Cultural Manifesto podcast. Let's listen to the track Part 2 from Midwest Dispossessed by Airport People, featuring Clockwork Jans, Jesse Lee, and Eric Salazar. That was Airport People with the piece Part 2 from the album Midwest Dispossessed. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost, and we're listening to songs from this month's local frequency selections. Up next, I have a track from Indianapolis pianist Christopher Pitts. This is Untitled Number 1, James Baldwin. That was Christopher Pitts with Untitled Number 1, James Baldwin. We're listening to songs from this month's local frequency selections. If you like the music you're hearing, you can find it on both our Small Studio Signal Boost playlist and the local frequency playlist on Spotify. The local frequency playlist has over 6 hours of instrumental music from Indiana artists, so if you like listening to music while you work or study, this playlist can be a great way to do that and support local musicians. To round out this month's local frequency tracks, I have one from Indianapolis band Wampus Milk Daddies. I think I initially heard this band from you, Melissa. You played a song of theirs on this show.
I did, and I think they submitted to our local frequency project and small studio sessions. So
well, how about that?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, and if you'd like to be like Wampus Milk Daddies and submit your music to us, you can do that at wfyi.org/local-frequency. This track has a kind of detective vibe that fits the fall cusp that we're on pretty well. It's Wampus Milk Daddies with Incognito.
That was Wampus Milk Daddies with Incognito. Thanks for those local frequency tracks, Adam, and thanks for starting the local frequency project.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for indulging me, Melissa.
Well, we enjoy hearing those songs, and you can hear those during Morning Edition and throughout the day on WFYI and WBAA. Coming up, we'll have a final song in the series from Sommers and their story behind a song. We'll be right back with that after the break on Small Studio Signal Boost.
WFYI Podcasts, brought to you by Bloomington, home to the Indiana Hoosiers and over 200,000 acres of fall foliage in the Hoosier National Forest. Indulge in seasonal flavors at the Elm, experience breathtaking views atop 4 fire towers, or catch a Big Ten football game at Memorial Stadium. More, including how to plan your fall getaway, at visitbloomington.com.
This This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Thanks for listening tonight. You can find the music featured tonight by following our playlists. Just search for WFYI Music on Spotify. You can find the podcast edition of the show wherever you get your podcasts or on our website at wfyi.org/podcasts. I'm Adam Gross, joined by Melissa Davis. And Melissa, you have another song from Sommers tonight.
Yeah, I do. Over the past several months, we've played songs from folk duo Sommers, and we appreciate the group sharing a song and a story for the series. Tonight, we're going to hear the final song in the series. Bob Sander and Matt Sommers are accomplished musicians. You've probably heard of Matt Sommers playing in a variety of different bands in Indianapolis over the years, such as Tin Lounge, Lowercase M, Lines of Nazca, and White River, among many others. Plus, his own solo work spans 60-plus albums. And he also produces albums for many other local artists, including Dark Matter Halos, Red Recluse, and Cara Jean Wallers. Bob Sander is a storyteller and musician and co-founded Storytelling Arts of Indiana. He's played with Preservation Band, Last Minute String Band, and currently plays with Tilt a Swirl. Let's hear about the duo Sander Sommers and the story behind the song Waterbound.
I think the concept of Sander Sommers that appeals to me the most is being able to take bits and pieces of classic Americana and acoustic sounds and merge them with more of a dynamic digital hip-hop methodology, the cutting in, the pasting, the bringing in interesting sounds. And to a certain degree, there's also a level of psychedelia to it because we're bringing in sounds that you wouldn't normally hear together sometimes to make something new. Yeah. That part excites me.
Me as well. I don't do most of what you just described. I just bring the existing melody or the existing song or maybe a song that I wrote. And I think that's the most satisfying thing for me is taking that, kind of as you usually say, taking a bed and then seeing where we might go with that. And what I really like is the fact that when we do this, we often show up and say, hey, what if we did this? What if we did that? Yeah. And I know a lot of people do that, but boy, it sure is pleasurable when you're working with somebody who you kind of click with, you can just see each other, you're feeding off each other's ideas.
Absolutely.
That's been fun.
Well, and I've really appreciated the ability to bring in instrumentation that's not normal, maybe that you wouldn't hear every day.
That's not normal. I like that.
But also being able to bring in, sounds of things that aren't instruments. We've brought in all kinds of we've used the bathroom fan in the song before.
Bathroom fan. I would dance on sand in your garage with flat-foot dancing shoes.
Yes, exactly.
And mic that. I remember we mic'd the foot bumping against the microphone.
Yep. Yeah. For Mic Stand Blues.
Yes.
That was our bass drum. Kick drum was you stepping on the mic stand.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, and the thing that I also like is that you never know what you're going to show up with. I like the fact that you'll be like, hey, I found a trombone or a viola and we're going to learn some notes. We're going to put it on a song. And it adds so much texture to it. So as an editor and as an artist and as a creative person, I love the ability to have all kinds of colors, a large palette at our fingertips.
Well, and the flip side of that is I show up with something in mind. And then in the course of the week that we're apart, you edit, and I never know what I'm going to hear next. And I've often said that I drive up to your house with a rusted out old song and say, can you turn this rusted out old song into a Mercedes-Benz or a Aston Martin? And then a week later, that's what you did. So,
well, sometimes it ends up sounding like a Devo song or maybe a little bit of a punk rock influence and some of those things. But what I really have enjoyed over the years, and we've worked together on and off for over a decade with many different albums and releases that are all going to be available or are available right now on streaming services. What I really like about that is the ability to just dive in and say, what do we feel like doing?
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
Right.
What do you want to play today?
Yeah.
And you're serving the song at that point. You're serving the creative process. So it's been a joy.
Truly. Some years ago, a good friend of mine, banjo player and otherwise fine musician, Don Lathan, told me he had heard a song called Waterbound, and it was performed by a couple of artists, Richie and Rosie. I listened to it. I loved it. Found out that a guy by the name of Dirk Powell, musician from Louisiana, had penned that tune. I heard him perform it, And you can hear this too, I guess, on YouTube Sessions. You can still find the Transatlantic Sessions. They've gone on for over 20 years. Wonderful, wonderful song penned in honor of his grandfather, which I thought that folk connection and family connection really made that song special. And this is our version of it.
Yeah, and what I really love about this song is the layers of simplicity, and it makes this really complicated, beautiful background for the track. The other thing I love about it is I got to play the desk, which I have in many of our songs, but it's one of my favorite instruments to play. I'd like to also thank Charlie Lear, my stepfather, for giving me a 100-year-old ratchet that shows up in the percussion on this song.
I went out late one night. Moon and stars were shining bright. Storm come up, the trees come down. I tell you boys, I was waterbound. Waterbound on a stranger's shore. River rising to my door.
Thanks, Sander Sommers, for the series of stories behind the song. That was Waterbound. You can find new music from Sander Sommers monthly at their website and all streaming platforms. Just search for Sander Sommers. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis here with co-host Adam Cross. What's happening in the world of live music?
Indianapolis band Star Chaser is playing a release show for their album Czars of the Universe next Friday the 13th.
Ooh,
yeah. The show is at Healer on Indy's east side and will also feature Mina and the Wonders Flying Machine, in parentheses, and I'll be there with the band Fantastic Shams. And fun fact, Star Chaser is fronted by Kara Tucker, who used to front the band Elliot Bigger, who did a small studio session.
So good.
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
amazing. And
She's
you can
so
find
talented.
that at wfyi.org/smallstudio. Is that right?
That sounds right to me.
All right. We'll
That
go
is
there.
correct. Yes, that is
For
it.
the record, that's what it is. And I've got another show for our Lafayette listeners. Everything Now will be playing at the Spot Tavern Thursday the 12th for local comedian Greg Lindbergh's comedy album release show. So you can get some good tunes and some good laughs at the same show. That's a nice bonus.
Yeah, very cool. I just have one tonight. Kathy Morris will be at the Jazz Kitchen on Sunday, September 15th. And that's the latest in Indiana music. Be sure to follow your favorite artist on social media for updates and info. This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Adam Cross and Roxana Caldwell created our show. This episode was produced by Adam Cross and me, Melissa Davis. You can check out the podcast edition of the show wherever you get your podcasts or at WFYI.org. And if you'd like to submit your music to get played on the show, just visit WFYI.org/local-frequency. And we are at our last song of the night. Adam, what do we have?
This is another track from Airport People's Midwest Dispossessed album. It's part 4 here on Small Studio Signal Boost. Have a great night.
WFYI Podcasts, brought to you by Bloomington, home to the Indiana Hoosiers and over 200,000 acres of fall foliage in the Hoosier National Forest. Indulge in seasonal flavors at the Elm, experience breathtaking views atop 4 fire towers, or catch a Big Ten football game at Memorial Stadium. More, including how to plan your fall getaway, at visitbloomington.com.